Okay. I just seen Endgame. It was amazing. It was. I'm not gonna spoil anything. Don't worry. Um, it was just. I can't. Ooh, I can't even say anything. Most likely, if I do say something, it's probably gonna be a spoiler. So yeah, most of this is gonna be a spoiler. So if you want to see the spoiler, keep watching the video. If you don't, then don't watch the video. I don't know what to tell you. Don't watch it. I like because I'm trying to. Time travel is pretty shit. We already knew it. We already knew it was gonna happen. So it's not really a spoiler, but there is time travel. Um, you have already been warned that if you don't want to see any spoilers, then don't see it. Don't know what to tell you. Don't watch it. Not my fault. Um, oh, why is it blurry? Hey, can you like? Uh, there it is. Okay. Um, a lot of shit happens in it. A lot. Like you will cry. You will hate me for spoiling this if you want to see it. Like I already said, your choice. Um, if you don't want to see spoilers, then don't look at this. Look, just go away. This is for people who have already seen it and are confused like me. I'm confused on time travel. Okay, so I got a book too. I'm a diagram it. A little time thing. So this black line, you know, original timeline. That's that's what it's gonna be called. Original timeline. That's it. Okay, so bet we can do this. It'd be better if I just do it. Hmm. How about like breaking into fours? One, two, three, four. Avengers one, Avengers two, Avengers three, Avengers four. Um, yeah. Shit. Okay, so let's get it. Avengers one, Age of Ultron, Infinity War, Endgame. So, Avengers 1, I think we already know what happened to it. Um, looking for a space zone. Easy. Space zone. Um, Avengers 2, uh, Mind Stone. Um, Avengers 3, um, all of them. Avengers 4, all of them. So, what happened, what I'm trying to figure out is, like I said, if you've, at this point right now, then you've already seen the movie. Captain America goes back in time. Like, actually, that's a different problem. What happens is people go back in time, get the soul stones, come back, use them. Simple. Natasha and Clint went to get the soul stone. Okay, that was 2014. That happened before Thanos and Gamora ever did that. So since they already got that soul stone, like think about it, Red Skull. He said that he's been think about it. He's been there for 70 years. Like when he Captain America, the first Avenger, he right in the Soul Stone, got thrown all the way to Vormir. Now I don't know how he got information about the Soul Stone. We do not get that information, but we do know that he's now a guide and tells people about the Soul Stone, about how to get it, and all that stuff. A part of me thinks that he's already used the Soul Stone. Maybe he's already had a first love, all that stuff, had a whole life. We obviously don't know about it. Then found out about that, then person falls, and then We don't know. He gets a soul stone. It's probably what happened. We don't know. Um, but he's been there for a grip. But he's been treating a lot of people for the soul stone, telling everybody he's been the guide for 70 years. So since he's been the guide for 70 years, and the like, how Thanos did it, someone you love, Gamora, there you go, gone, dead. I get soul stone. How many times has gone dead? I get soul stone. How many times has that happened? Since he's been guide for 70 years, don't you think that he's obviously guided somebody into getting something, throwing somebody over, and then getting soul stone? Like, if that's the case, how many soul stones are there? Like, or if the soul stone was just up there the whole time and there's just one soul stone. But then how would he get the information of him telling the soul stone that's what happens? There's a loophole to that. There's obviously more than one soul stone. That's that's the only way to see it. There's more than one. There's only one way to see that. Because if he's been teaching people about the soul stone for many years and it's been going by like he's a cashier and stuff. Go in, get your soul stone, drop a dead life, go. And like, soul stone, dead life. What do you need? Soul stone? Do you have anybody you love? She's gonna die. Okay, simple. Like, he's a cashier. He just goes through. That means there's more soul stones. Simple. There's more soul stones. But then, okay, then that happened. We got that soul. That more soul stones. We got that. Um, Tony, Hulk, Captain America, and Ant-Man went all the way to Avengers 1, the big fight scene. And then they screwed it up pretty badly. The space stone that they had with Loki, he was in custody. Loki kind of was just chilling there, and then they all messed it up. And then Loki saw Soul Stone just there, and he just snatched and then was gone. Loki just has it, so he just had Soul Stone now. And then their whole plan to get it trashed. So then Captain America goes back all the way to when he was in boot camp, when Betty was still there. That, you know, he grabbed that soul stone that was there, and Tony was there too, and Tony saw his father. Like, he did all that. It was pretty cool. And then that happened. Um, then they grabbed that soul stone. They came back. Good. Um, Hulk went to get the time stone, but Hulk didn't tell the bald lady that the time stone, that Doctor Strange didn't just give up the time stone. He gave up for good reason. He gave it up because that was the only way. He didn't say to her that this was the only way, like the only way. He didn't say that. He just said, I don't know. And then she's like, oh, I made a mistake then, because she's been keeping eyes on him. So like, if that's the case, then she said she made a grave mistake. What mistake has she made yet? Doctor Strange movie hasn't happened yet. So what mistake is you making? You haven't picked Doctor Strange to be the dude. And if picking Doctor Strange was a grave mistake after he said, I don't know why he just threw it away, then she's probably not going to pick Doctor Strange to do it. Maybe Doctor Strange never happens. Keep that in mind. He finally gets a time stone. Um, uh, so Soul Stone acquired, Time Stone acquired, Space Stone acquired. Um, where did everybody else go? Reality Stone. Yeah, Rocket Raccoon and Thor went to go Asgard. That's the day his mother died, where they came down and all that stuff, and got the stone, did all that stuff. Um, Thor took his old hammer back to the future, which was pretty cool. Uh, and then so they have soul, time, space, reality, and then Since that happened, hmm, what's the other stone? Who else left? Nebula and War Machine. That's a stupid thing to do. War Machine, well, they brought Nebula back to a place where Nebula was a bad guy with Thanos and under his will. So they didn't think that they're gonna have like a psychic link and stuff to the old Nebula, and then there's like, what's happened with her? And then bam, memories to the new Nebula, and like, oh snap, there's two Nebulas. Like, you never thought that was gonna happen? Like, come on, like. And then War Machine's done behind. He's in the military. He's I don't know if he's a general. He's up there though. And then he sees that her arm is just obliterated, trying to go through the force field to get the Power Stone. Power Stone. Um, he sees that. Then they leave. Like literally the next second, they're at the Avengers place. Like, bruh, what just? He sees the arm, but Nebula got messed up, and then got sent to Thanos and the present Nebula from the old time. Now the old Nebula is beating up the new Nebula. Then the old Nebula takes the place of new Nebula and goes back to the Avengers place in the future, and then brings Thanos's place, Thanos's warship, and then they invade Earth just like that, just like that. War Machine could have easily been like, Nebula, wasn't your arm fucked up like a second ago? What happened? Hmm. Nebula, why are you so quiet and mischievous? Hmm. General. General Rhodes. Rocket Raccoon could have spotted that. Rocket Raccoon could have spotted. Groot could have spotted that. But him being a general, being a suit and everything, as seeing stuff, I was like, wait a minute. He couldn't like piece that together. How'd I piece it together? I'm not the general. I'm not the made up character in the movie. That's messed up. Anyway, Hulk gets the gauntlet, which is nice. He gets the gauntlet. And then puts it on. He's the only one who can withstand it. By all the Avengers, he's the only one. He's like, and he just, then everybody that Thanos is now back. So everybody's back. That's lit. He's like, it worked. Everything's back. And you look up in the sky, and Thanos' ship is just there. And then missiles. And then just Ant-Man was like, it worked. And then just blows up and everything. Everything blew up. It was just, everything blew up. It was destroyed. We had nothing. I thought Ant-Man died. Because Ant-Man was just sitting there. Oh, it worked. And then Hulk like looked up, and then the reflection, it was like Thanos' ship and just missiles, and it just, and then Ant-Man's just sitting there, blew up. I was like, so he just died. Like, I thought Ant-Man died. I thought everybody was just wiped out in that one instant. I thought everybody died. I was upset. Jace, on the other hand, was just sitting there laughing his behind off because it was pretty like peaceful. Everybody won, all that stuff, and then missiles, bam, and then blew it up. It was funny, but it wasn't a time to laugh because I really thought everybody died. And then the original Avengers, Iron Man, Captain America, and Thor. Thor had his Stormbreaker and Mjolnir. Captain America had his shield, which just, then Iron Man had his suit, just, and then they're just like up against Thanos, like, let's get the, like, so Thanos doesn't know where the stones are. Let's keep it that way. And it's like, suit up. I was hyped. And then they started fighting them and stuff. And then Thor did not know how to use Mjolnir or Stormbreaker together. Like, one, good. The other one, good. Then together, there's two different things. Because this one's two-handed, swiping like this and doing this. And this one's one-handed and doing this and doing this. So, like, you can't do both at the same time. And then they start fighting. Iron Man gets beaten up and goes down. Captain America and Thor going in. Thor gets beaten up. Just, he gets curb stomps, just, and then his axe, he was swinging at him. Then Thanos grabbed the axe and it was putting on him like this. He about to kill him. He's like a cut right there. He's like about to go into his chest. And the Captain America's right there. And he like looked over and it's like Mjolnir. And he just, all you hear is and smack right in the back of Thanos' head. And then I was like, did Thor just call back his hammer and save himself? I was like, that is a badass move. Then the hammer just kept going and it was like, and then he was like, and instead of, I was like, oh, I got so fucking hyped. I got so hyped. And then it was Captain America alone beat Thanos' ass. Let me tell you something. He was using Mjolnir. He was using Mjolnir and his shield as if he's been using both of those combos for many years. And his athletic ability and his just super strength, he just went together. He was up here like, oh my God. He was just like, smack, smack, right into his face, and then hammer came back and smacked, and then shockwave in his back, and then came back, and then smack, and then they like both ran at each other like this, and then he was like, smack, like Thor did to Hulk and Ragnarok. He just, smack, that went off, and meanwhile, Iron Man's still sitting there watching the thing. He could have got up and done something, but no. He sat there and did nothing. Wow. And Thor, sitting there just curb stomped. And then like Thor, like the first Captain America movie, when, the Age of Ultron, when everybody was sitting there chilling, and he's like, go pick up the hammer, and Captain America's like, He's like, oh. And then Thor was like, oh, I thought so. I was like, thought you wouldn't do it. Thor knew that he was worthy. Captain America knew he was worthy. I'm pretty sure Captain America in his mind was like, this is light. This is super light. But he was like, nah, I can't do this in front of everybody because it's going to be very awkward. It's like to use the hammer because it's not the right time. It's not the right time for me to use this hammer. This is Thor's. And he just moved a little bit just to clear the air because he didn't want to be Thor is the one with the hammer, and if Captain America used the hammer too, then Thor's not that special. Wait a minute. Captain America in the final fight never flew. He was swinging around too. He's like, then smack. I was like, that is lit. But why didn't he go in the air? Because I wanted to see that. Well, he didn't fling it like this because he didn't have Thor's muscles and stuff and super strength. But he was like, but that would have been really cool to see. But Captain America is the main character of this movie. Even though there's many main characters, he is the Captain America. He's the captain. He's the captain of this ship. And he whooped ass. Like, whew. And then as soon as Thanos started adapting, unsadly, he started to beat Captain America's tail. And then Captain America's shield, he was like this, and then his blade, and Thanos is just like, and he's just, with a sword too, he just, he just, and then Captain America's shield starts breaking, and breaking even more, and breaking. And remember the first Avengers movie? When everybody's laid out dead? Like, laid out dead? Captain America's shield was sitting there broken. Exactly like it is now. And that was just in Tony's vision. Interesting. What is it? Oh my God. Remember Star Wars when Luke was against it's a newer Star Wars movie. Luke Skywalker, the older version, was against all the other people with guns pointing at him. He was like, fire! And then they shot, but it was a hologram, so he didn't get killed. That's what I thought when Captain America was just sitting there, almost dead, and he just, and then stood up. He's like, I thought he was gonna say, "I can do this all day," because that would have been amazing to see. But he was just chilling there. And then Thanos' goons just like laid out a huge army against this one dude who was just like Captain America, just with a broken shield too. And he like unbuckled his shield. Well, no, he didn't unbuckle it. I thought he was gonna unbuckle it like he gave up, but he was like this and then tightened it even more. He's like, I got this. I was like, that's my boy right there. Like, that's my boy right there. And then I thought Thanos was gonna be like fire, and then just like do this, and then Captain America, Thor, and Iron Man just blow up at the same time. I thought that was gonna happen. I was gonna cry. I was gonna walk out that thing and cry my ass. I thought that was gonna happen, but it didn't. What happened was, hey Cap, on your left. I was like, was that Falcon? And then, bam, Falcon like just no. Doctor Strange's portals come out of nowhere, just zoom, and Black Panther like comes out with his sister and his uh Akora, not Akora. That's from Destiny. Uh, the woman from Walking Dead. She came out too. Uh, and they was like they would come out strapped. They was just, and I was like, wait a minute, we forgot Hulk. He did the and undid everybody. So that means all the Avengers are all back again. So that means the Avengers are still back up there. So that's what I'm talking about. And then they came up, was like, and he was like on your left, and Falcon came flying in, just, and then I was like, oh, and then Bucky came out too. I was hype. But there's still something weird. At the end, I'm just letting you know this since I've already spoiled a lot. Iron Man dies. At the end, at his funeral, there's everybody from the Avengers, well, respectively everybody. But there's this one kid in the background that was like kind of teenager look like, but we didn't know who he was. Like he was he's just there. We didn't know who he was. And there's like maybe someone else that I didn't recognize, but him, he looked like he looked like he was the one mourning for him. Like, no, not Iron Man, but I was like, who are you? Like, who are you? Like, I couldn't like cope with seeing an unfamiliar face at a familiar face at a funeral. I was like, who you at? And like, who you? It was weird, but it was lit. And then the huge final fight comes up. Thanos' goons and everybody versus all of the Avengers, and then Captain America sitting there. Everybody like lines up behind Captain America, and he's just Avengers assemble. I was tapping Jizz. I was like, he said it. I was so hyped. I was like, he said that shit. I was already up here. I was already up here. I was hyped. And then they all like, and then like they started fighting. Spider-Man came back. Like Spider-Man came up and he was like, Mr. Stark, did I pass out or something? Because like I was there and you were there, we were all there, and then I woke up and then you weren't there and then we were gone. So I didn't know what happened. And then Tony gave him a hug. I was like, oh. Another thing, they all did that fight thing. Hawkeye, which is now called Ronin, like I said, they're oh no, for the soul stone, Natasha had to die. She had to die. Well, they both were fighting over who had to die because they were trying to sacrifice themselves. Natasha's been wanting to do this for a long time, and Clint was just killing a lot of people because they were bad people. But he's now Ronin the Accuser. He's taking the mantle of Ronin the Accuser because he's Ronin. Like Ronin the Accuser killed the people that were accused of being guilty, and he killed a bunch of people that were accused of being guilty. So Ronin the Accuser. That's his title now. Like in the comics, that's his title. He's not the big dude with like a huge hammer, but he got a sword too. He was like, and then they met up with Nat. I was like, that's pretty cool. But then they were like fighting over the spot to die to get the soul stone, and it was, I'm not gonna tell you the scene. It's exhausting trying to explain that, but Natasha ends up sacrificing herself, then goes down, and she's in the exact same position, like as Gamora was. I was like, damn. But then, okay, now that's that. And then the final fight, Captain America. Well, all the Avengers are still fighting everybody, but against Thanos, um, Hawkeye was like when the missiles came down and killed everybody. Well, didn't kill everybody, but destroyed everything. Everybody was still down there, and Hawkeye was under like a tunnel. He went all the way down and it was in a tunnel. Um, Thanos' goons, like little, like those things, they were down there too, and they were coming after him. And the gauntlet was down there, and he was like, "Oh shit!" And then grabbed the gauntlet. And he was dipping. He was like, he was through the water, and he went ham. He had a sword out. He's just shing, 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 and then like flipped up, and then shing, shing, and then did a flip, and then shing, and I was like, that's pretty cool. I was like, and then when I think about it, Natasha, she's one of my favorite characters. Well, she's not really one of my favorite. It's just I feel bad for not saying she's not, but she died, so we can't really do nothing about that now. She's dead. Then again, I gotta think, she's dead. If Clint was the one that fell off and died, would Natasha have been in Clint's situation? And would Natasha actually go through with Clint's situation? Because Clint, he's a badass. Like, and then he went off on everybody. And even on the battlefield with everybody clashing, he was still protecting the thing and just running around. He was still just going off. Would Natasha be doing the same thing? Because Natasha has like little stun things. Like, she doesn't even have bullets on her arms. She has stun things that stun the opponent. Like in Infinity War, she had a staff and the batons. She's like, bing. Like, she was going off. She was doing really good. But then think about it, her things only stunned people. They didn't really kill those things. They just smack. Like she was like Donatello. Donatello doesn't kill because he's a turtle and a cartoon. So she was like Donatello in that situation. Just smack, 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 and putting them down. But they weren't really dead because all she did was stun, then smack. So they were out of it. They're probably dead because the stun was so powerful it killed them like with electricity. But I don't think that's the case. I think they just stun and then put them down. She could have easily just bang, 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 which she did, which was really cool. But she was ding, ding, like she went off. It was really cool. But like, gotta tell you, it was something. It was Natasha. I'm not sure if Natasha would have done the same thing Clint did, because Clint, he had a sword, cut literally straight through those things, like with ease. He just swipe dead, swipe dead, flip, swipe dead. She would have probably been like, like stabbing them and stunning them, and they're probably gonna get back up, and then she's just like, and she's probably just gonna like stun them, and then she's probably gonna do something like that. But then again, like, she wouldn't have been as efficient as him because he's been out there killing like that, like a ninja, like a badass, for like 5 years. She's been behind a desk in charge of Avengers facility and taking control of the whole world's security for 5 years. He's been active. She hasn't. She hasn't fought since Infinity War. He has. Gotta look at the pros and cons, and he'd be still a badass. So keep moving on. Um, in the comics, Spider-Man, Black Panther, Doctor Strange, Iron Man, Hulk, they all use the Infinity Gauntlet at some point. They use it. It's like, ching, then or they do something else. They use the Infinity Gauntlet. But in this one, all those characters I just named off, they held it, but never put it on. Like when I saw Spider-Man get it, and Spider-Man's just a kid. And then Thanos was like, start shooting, it's like fire down on the area. He's like, but our men, he's like, fire down. And then the whole ship just gunned everybody down. And a lot of the forces died out, but not the main characters, obviously. But a lot of like Doctor Strange, he had a lot of followers and stuff. They kind of died a lot. But like, you see the main character of it, their followers kind of died from all the bombardment. Um, like, I think about it. After all, like switching over gauntlets and stuff, Captain Marvel even got it. And when Captain Marvel, I'm mad at that. Captain Marvel was in space the whole time, and then they're shooting it down, then they stop for some reason. It's like, why they stop? And then they're aiming at something in the ceiling or in the sky, and then she just, and they're just aiming at her, missing, and then it literally just goes slow, exactly through the ship, like knife on butter. It just went straight through, like no effort. She's a powerhouse. No effort. Went straight through a huge ship that's been destroying lots of stuff. She just, and then went back up it, and then she was just, ooh. It's like, yeah. I was like, that's my bitch right there. But then you gotta think. Then the Spider-Man sitting there just cowering, just like with the gauntlet, and then the whole Thanos army that's left is still coming at Spider-Man. He's just don't want to do it, and she's like, "Hey," and he's like, "Hi, I'm Peter Parker." He's like, "Cool." She's like, "You got some there for me," and he's like, "Yeah, yeah," and then hands it over to her. I was like, "Oh, that's cute." I was like, "That's cool," and she just goes to the oh yeah, Ant Man got huge, and then started stepping on a bunch of people because they were remember the tower, the Avengers facility blew up. Everybody's still down there, and they're about to drown too. And then Ant Man just went under there and just big and just stood up, had everybody, and like when that happened when the Avengers assemble, and then he just and then had War Machine, then Little Raccoon. I think he had someone else too. Everybody just like came up. I was like, this is beautiful. I was like, don't like that button, that meme when it's like upgrade, 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 perfect, perfect. Like let me perfect. Just and what is it? Let me think. Oh my god, it just happened too. It was sad. They all had their final battle, and then Thanos eventually, like final battle with Thor and Captain America. They were still fighting, and everybody else was still fighting. But then it came down to Thanos again. Came back and like, there's some fighting and stuff. Then Iron Man's still sitting there. Well, Iron Man and Pepper Potts came in with a new suit. She came in with a support suit. It was blue. And then Iron Man and Pepper Potts was like, and then like they mowed down everybody out. And then Asgardians came up too. Perfect. And then what is it? Iron Man went back to Thanos, just like beat him up a little bit, and then got put down, and he was just chilling there. And then Thanos is still coming and fighting and people. Hold up, with Spider-Man, and he had the thing and gave it to Captain Marvel, and then he was like, I don't know how you're gonna get through all those people, and it was like a huge army, and he's like, we got this, and she was like, don't worry, kid, we got this. And then Captain Marvel stepped up, the black bald lady from Black Panther came out. Then like basically all the main female characters, like Pepper Potts. You got Pepper Potts, Captain Marvel, the black bald lady, the other Black Panther sister, uh, Wanda, uh, Gamora. Then basically all the other female characters, all the females, they all came out. I was like, that's female power right there. They were strong as fuck. And then everybody just like comes out and just starts. Then Captain Marvel just bing, 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 bing. Everything blows up. She didn't really put in much effort. But as soon as she was about to get to Ant-Man's van so she can go back in time to reverse that again, which they were going to do, Thanos is just like, has the sword and just throws it. And then it blows up his van. Everything falls back. Gauntlets there. Thanos, Iron Man. Iron Man tackles Thanos. And Thanos just sit down, child. And then he just goes flying. And then he's about to put the glove on. Then Thor just, no, not Thor. Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel was like, smack, smack, smack. Grabbed the thing, kicked him down. And Thanos grabbed her, smack, threw her away, grabbed the glove, and then put it on. And then Thor came in. Then bang, 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 threw his hammer, had his stuff, and then he was like putting on it, just like with Mjolnir and Stormbreaker. He's like, but then Thanos is coming back on him because Thor's kind of fat now. He's not that strong. And he's just, oh my god! And then Captain America jumps on his back and he's like, starts to choke him, but it's just Captain America. It's not gonna do much. But he got a little pull to it. He's like, there's. But Thanos was like, headbutt, smack. Thor goes down, and he's just like, Thanos has a glove again. He's like, I finally won. I think that's what he said. He said something like that. He's like, I've won. I told you I was the inevitable. And he's like, and then Doctor Strange, well, no, Iron Man's like, and looks at Doctor Strange, and Doctor Strange is like, what? He's talking about the one opportunity. Like, remember the 14 trillion, something, and 0 chances? And he's like, you had 1 chance, and this is the only way. And then before in the fight, Iron Man was like, so are you going to tell me, is this a part of the big one plan? And he's like, if I tell you, it's not going to happen. And he's like, okay. And then look at Iron Man. He's like, 1. He was like, this is the chance. And then Iron Man was like, I know what I got to do. And then Iron Man was the one. Iron Man came up. He's like, grabbed the glove a little bit. And then Thanos was just, bitch. He just, and then he's like, I told you I am the inevitable. He's like, and he looked at it. It was like 0 gems. And he's like, oh, dang. And then Iron Man was like, yeah, bitch. And he's like, and had all of them. And he's like, I told you he would win. And he's like, I am Iron Man. And that was the best way he ever, that if